countdown on LEX 18 News.
A state of emergency declared in Kentucky after a serious dose of winter weather brought about snow and ice. What that declaration means for people needing help cleaning up. Also, the weather has impacted travel for just about everybody in the state. How things look right now. Live team coverage is straight ahead. And Lexington police investigating a deadly shooting in Masterson Station. It's a developing story. We've got what we know straight ahead here on LEX 18 News at noon. A lot to get to. It starts right now on this Thursday. And good afternoon. I'm Chris Goodman.
And I'm Dia Davidson. Winter, let us know it's not over quite yet.
Oh, it is sure not over. Kentuckians waking up to lots of ice and snow, depending on where you are. We have crews all over the Bluegrass to bring you updates on the road conditions all the rest of the day today.
That's right. We had an early morning, didn't we, Chris? But first, we want to check in with meteorologist Tom Ackerman, who's been tracking the storm all morning. Tom, I missed you this morning. Good morning again.
Hey, I've been around. Yeah, I saw you on the air there, Dia. We've got quite a bit in the way of wintry weather that took a swipe at us overnight, and you can see the lingering impact behind me. This, of course, is our live camera, our CHI, St. Joseph Health Lexington Financial Center camera pointed downtown, and you can see that accumulated ice and that little hint of snow that came in. But this has been the big factor, of course, that freezing rain and the ice that pretty much coated the trees, and it has caused all kinds of issues from travel problems, hazardous driving conditions, trees coming down, power outages as expected. But the other issue that we have is it is just so cold out there. We are in the mid-20s in Lexington, and we've got at least a break in the action. That morning precipitation wound down, so it's been fairly quiet here. It's overcast. We'll still have some light freezing drizzle or even some snow showers or flurries around, but this is the next wave coming in, and it is currently impacting southeastern Kentucky. This is going to be the last real blast from this round that started last evening. So they are gradually paring down all the warnings and advisories. Northern Kentucky is in the clear. Our ice storm warning continues in the southern counties. And the LEX 18 Storm Tracker Future Track does show that batch into southeastern Kentucky continuing to wind down as we go through the day. So breaking it all down, the threat's pretty much over in the Bluegrass, but we've got that lingering chance for a little bit of light precipitation there. The focus shifts to our southeastern counties. You could pick up some light ice accumulation down there before it finally wraps up later this afternoon into this evening. We'll break everything down, talk about some updated ice totals, and get a check of that Arctic air that's coming in for over the weekend.
Tom, who's been here since almost midnight. Tom, thank you so much. We'll see you in just a few minutes. Governor Andy Beshear says he signed a state of emergency in response to the winter storm. The governor announcing that during a news conference earlier this morning as more than 70,000 people across the state are without power. LEX 18's Jacqueline Nye joins us live in Frankfort right now. She's got details on the state's response.
The governor, the transportation cabinet, and the state emergency department all had the same message this morning, and that's just simply stay home and don't leave unless it's a necessity. The transportation cabinet this morning did say that crews are working around the clock to clear the roads and expect the main roads in larger cities to be safe to travel on by rush hour this evening. The emergency management director says as of right now, there are about 70,000 people across the state without power, and with precipitation expected to last in some parts of the state through the rest of the day. Governor Andy Beshear says that crews are working around the clock, but it's going to take some time to recover from the storm.
Possible. Prepare for the need to use an alternative source of heat, but be aware of the dangers of alternative heat sources and carbon monoxide poisoning. Generators, camp stoves, and charcoal grills should always be placed outdoors and at least 20 feet away from the windows.
If you are one of those thousands of people without power, you are asked to refer to your specific company for a timeline of when that will be restored. In Frankfort, Jacqueline Nye, LEX 18 News.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Here in Lexington, it's been a nonstop day filled with reports of power outages, car crashes, and of course, those falling trees. Let's check in with LEX 18's Claire Kopsky. She joins us now with more on it from a neighborhood just off of Clays Mill Road where someone's car was damaged by a downed tree. What's going on out there?
Hey, Dia, we are out here on Holland Drive and Monticello Boulevard, not far from Clays Mill Road, where up until a few minutes ago, this road was blocked by a large tree that fell onto this van that, as you can see, needs a serious trip to the body shop. Good news here this morning. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was inside of that van, but the tree that fell was part of that tree over there. As you can see, quite a large piece blocking the road. There was a city crew out here to clean it up, so thankfully that has been taken care of. But there is still a thick sheet of ice out here in this neighborhood, and the road crews, I'm told, are going to be on their way throughout the morning. But once you get out onto some of those larger roads, yeah, it does start to get a little bit clear. Now out on like Clays Mill Boulevard, it's pretty much a thick slush is how I would describe that. Once you get out to New Circle Road, though, that has been looking pretty clear this morning. We did meet a family over on the north side of town in the Imperial Mobile Home Estates, who they are now pleading for help after a tall tree fell onto their home early this morning. The woman who lives inside that home says this is not the first time that this has happened, and she's fearful to go back inside since the power line is still charged and there are holes from the branches in their ceiling.
Scared because in that corner right there, that's where we're asleep. You know, and when I heard, yeah, you know, it's like a big, like a big noise, you know, and shake the house, you know, and we were like, what the heck, what's happening here? You know, I was afraid that you know, I even told my husband, let's move to, you know, sleep somewhere else because I'm afraid that a tree, you know, just fell in top of us.
And as you saw in that video, her fears were true as they came outside to see that tree on their home. Again, this has happened to them before, so they're really hoping to have some help over there to clean up this morning. But we will have another update for you coming up in 30 minutes to take a closer look at the roads. But for now, let's go down to Danville and check in with LEX 18's Alex Valverde, who has been talking to Danville residents this morning. Alex, what was everyone waking up to this morning?
Hey, Claire. Well, right now it's actually a lot calmer than it was this morning. A lot of that heavy wind and that slush and rain and downfall and precipitation that was coming down has died off. However, that does not mean that residents are in the clear at this point in Boyle County because all of that weather has left a layer of ice on the streets and the sidewalk and really everything, as you can see behind me. Now, the director of Boyle County Emergency Management, Mike Wilder, says that many people who were a part of emergency planning for this storm were around during the ice storm of 2009. So crews, they knew what to do. And city and county crews have been out through the morning and through this afternoon now, taking care of roads, clearing fallen tree limbs, and restoring power to hundreds of homes that are still without power. And Wilder says they will stick to that plan through the rest of the day.
Monitoring what happens and making sure our first responders have the ability to get to a place when they need to get there, that type of thing. And we just ask the public to bear with us. Stay off the roads. There's no reason to be out. We've got most of our businesses are closed today.
Now, Wilder says that there are people on standby and the county is ready to open any emergency shelters if that is needed through the day and as crews continue to work on the roads and to restore power to homes. And we will check back in the next half hour here in Boyle County. But for now, we're going to take a look at Madison County and what conditions are like there with Michael Burke, who continues our LEX 18 Storm Tracker coverage.
All right, thanks very much, Alex. Appreciate it. We are in Madison County, Richmond on the EKU bypass, where we seem to be turning a corner, but I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. We've talked with many drivers who have been using I-75, some of them all morning long. They said right now it's really spotty at best. Some areas are really clear and they feel safe. Others, they couldn't drive more than 20 or 30 miles per hour before they felt like they'd be putting themselves and the other drivers around them in some jeopardy. 5,500 power outages across Madison County is what we were told about an hour ago. That number obviously could fluctuate a little bit. Some of those people have had power restored. For others, it'll obviously be at least several hours, hopefully less than that. But the big takeaway is to just stay at home. If you don't need to be out today, it's not a good idea just to go out for no reason at all.
Coming back into Kentucky, it got kind of slick, and about 4 miles north of here, it is pure ice, about 2 inches thick still on the interstate. But it finally cleared up a little bit as we got down here.
Icy, really icy. Mister, I'd tell you, slow down.
Is that what you have?
Yeah, stay home if you can.
Yeah, that is the good advice of the day. And as we pan back over here, you see the bypass behind me. That has been in really good condition since we got out here at 3:30 this morning. But again, without having been too far north or south, east or west, it's hard to tell exactly how the roads are doing, but those guys certainly told you spotty at best. Live in Madison County, I'm Michael Burke, LEX 18 News. Let's see you in the studio.
Today, officials across the state still asking folks to try and stay off the roads, if at all possible, until at least tomorrow morning. And AAA Fleet Manager Jed Bowles hopes Kentuckians will heed that warning. Now, if you do have to go out, having a winter weather bag in the car filled with blankets, warm clothes, flashlights, and jumper cables is very important. AAA also advising drivers to turn on their emergency lights, leave plenty of space between them and the other cars, and take extra care on bridges and overpasses. They typically freeze first and melt last.
And remember, you can continue to track the latest on the winter storm using our website. Of course, that's lex18.com. And you can get that same information on the go with the free Storm Tracker weather app. In other news that is developing at this noon hour, officials are investigating a shooting in northwest Lexington. It's all unfolding right now on Furlong Court. That's in the Masterson Station subdivision. Sophia Millar is on that scene with the latest details.
What we know so far is Lexington police are investigating a domestic violence incident with injuries. Now, we don't know how many people were hurt. What we can tell you is the coroner's office is on scene. Police have released very few details about why they were called to this Masterson Station subdivision. What I can tell you is it's a very different scene right now than when our crews first arrived just after 9 a.m. There was a heavier police presence and several ambulances when we first got here. In the last hour, most of the police has cleared out and the coroner has just recently come back onto the scene, but there are still detectives in unmarked cars near the townhome where this happened. So at this point, all we can tell is detectives are coming in and out of the home. You can see they've blocked off this section with police tape while they investigate. Again, police have released very few details about what actually transpired here, but we do expect an update later on in the day. In Lexington, Sophia Millar, LEX 18 News.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And back to the weather straight ahead. It's hard enough to deal with this round of winter weather, but we have some really cold temperatures that are going to be moving in. And Storm Tracker meteorologist Tom Ackerman tracking snow potentially moving in this weekend and early next week. He's got details on that. Winter certainly not done with us yet. He'll have the latest next. And here's a look at lottery jackpots. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, $82 million. And Saturday's Powerball jackpot amount, $56 million.
Forget the greeting card and give your Valentine what they really want. Delicious chocolate-covered strawberries from Old Kentucky Chocolates, dipped in quality premium chocolate. Old Kentucky Chocolates. Shop 4 convenient Lexington locations.
When I was in a wreck, it felt like my life was shattered into 1,000 pieces. So I called the hammer.
I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. Solving problems is what we do. We'll work hard to put the pieces of your life back together and fight to get you the money you deserve for your injuries, lost wages, and pain and suffering.
Calling the hammer really paid off. They made the insurance company pay up. The hammer got me $800,000.
In a wreck, one call, that's all.
Call 800-800-8888.
Save big during Lexington Overstock's President's Day warehouse sale. Plus, Jackson sofa only $447. Pillow top hybrid queen mattress set just $297. Plus, get 12-month interest-free financing. Don't miss our President's Day sale Friday through Monday at Lexington Overstock Warehouse.
You could just wait for something to go wrong with your furnace, or not. Get a heating tune-up this winter for only $59. Call us today to learn why we're Central Kentucky's highest-rated HVAC company. Comfort, heating, and air. I'm on my way.
It's Sleep Outfitters President's Day free-for-all with amazing free gifts valued up to $300. Get a free box spring with 18 Sealy Responser Outfitters mattresses set as low as $249. Interest-free financing and free premier delivery. Now at Sleep Outfitters.
Guys,
There ain't nothing better than a Kentucky evening. It's a perfect time to crack open those windows and let it all in.
But you can't if the windows are stuck shut.
Don't let your old windows keep you from enjoying the Kentucky air.
Go to windowsourcekentucky.com and get an easy price on replacement windows.
They're so smooth and easy.
You can open them with a feather. Try it now at the windowsourcekentucky.com.
Beautiful windows
that won't break the bank.
At ADA Heating and Air, we are honored that you choose us every day for your HVAC needs. We proudly install American-built, American standard products at the best possible prices. ADA and American Standard, built to a higher standard.
800-800-4600 is more than just a phone number. If you've been injured, it's the key to being treated fairly. Don't let the insurance company decide your future. If you want maximum compensation, call Hughes & Coleman. 800-800-4600.
Forget the floral bouquet and give your Valentine what they really want. Delicious chocolate-covered grapes from Old Kentucky Chocolates, dipped in quality premium chocolate. Old Kentucky Chocolates. Shop 4 convenient Lexington locations.
Well, we definitely took a hit. An ice storm blew through overnight into this morning, and it's still ongoing, but it's primarily into our southeastern counties. This is what it looks like. Downtown streets are in slightly better shape. They were pretty much ice and snow coated, sleet coated earlier this morning. You can at least see the pavement with some progress being made there. But I tell you what, it is cold. It's hard to get rid of that accumulated ice and a little bit of sleet when you're in the mid-20s and you've got a wind chill. It's at times in the single digits. It feels like it's 11 degrees out there with that northeasterly wind sustained around 15, 16 miles per hour. Wicked cold afternoon. As far as the ice totals go, the highest total that I have seen within the LEX 18 viewing area, Shelbyville, that half-inch total, and there were numerous around half-inch totals as you head west. Look at that. Litchfield out in western Kentucky, a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. So there were some folks that did get over that ½ inch mark. But for the majority of us, it was around about 1/4 to maybe 3/10 of an inch of ice. A lot of 2/10 of an inch measurements there. And if you want to measure, it's pretty easy to do. A lot of folks make the mistake, though, of including the diameter of the branch in the measurement. What you want to do is measure the thickest part and then the thinnest part. Add those two numbers together as far as the accumulated ice is concerned, divide by 2, and that gives you your overall total. So a lot of folks, in about that 1/4 of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch of rain or of ice from freezing rain. Amy, via Twitter, cracked me up earlier this morning. She said she's not going out in that because, look, I mean, it was just a slick ice sheet. Cars were coated. A lot of folks still are. This shot came in from Chris Justice. I just love it. The ice-coated basketball hoop, which we see every time an ice storm blows through. Somebody sends me one of those pictures. Love them. So, the Max Track. This tapered off hours ago here, but it is still ongoing south and east, where you saw primarily rain overnight. So you can see this wintry precipitation moving in as that colder air does the same. It's finally dropping down to around freezing into southern counties. So we'll have lingering drizzle, some occasional snow showers, flurries here. But as you get into southeastern Kentucky, especially where you're seeing that pink, mixed precipitation, some light icing still a possibility, a couple of 1/10 of an inch. So the ice storm warning, even though it's been discontinued here, does continue into our southeastern counties through this afternoon, this evening, until that finally wraps up late this evening and early tomorrow morning. So the LEX 18 Storm Tracker Future Track takes the bulk of the precipitation through. So by later on into your Thursday evening, things should be simmering down. But the conditions, the slick conditions, all that is going to persist because it's going to stay cold. And, in fact, get even colder as we go later in the weekend. Here's the future track, a quiet but mostly cloudy Friday. Into Saturday, we'll have a hint of moisture moving in. We could see some additional light freezing precipitation Saturday. It's going to be cold enough for it. It's 24 degrees now here, but it's around freezing. Williamsburg still a couple of degrees above freezing in Harlan, but not for much longer. You can see the colder air working its way in. And then we just stay cold into the weekend. This spins you out through Friday. Into the weekend, you've got some lows in the teens, highs in the 20s, barely up to around freezing. So we just really don't recover going into the weekend. And watch this, Arctic air blossoming out west. This is the departure from normal. Where you see the pink, this is just the bitterly cold air. It's expanding and dropping south. So by late in the weekend, early next week, we'll be running the eastern edge of this, but you're going to feel it. And you'll see it reflected in your 8-day here in a second. So freezing drizzle, some flurries around. The main round of light icing, that freezing rain, heavier into our southeastern counties and then diminishing this evening. We'll end up drying out, just a little bit of patchy freezing drizzle possible overnight, but lows down around the upper teens and low 20s. Look at the cold at the end of the weekend. And on top of that, that cold, it's bitter cold, low 20s and even single-digit lows. We've got the potential for some active weather in the next week. Couple of systems tracking in with as cold as we will be. It would likely be pure snow, possibly some freezing rain mixed in on the southeastern side. We'll have to wait and see how those storms track, though, in the next week.
All right, Tom, thank you. The second impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump continues today. House managers began making their case yesterday. In their opening argument, managers alleged the incitement of insurrection began months before the election and was organized in stages by Trump. And far from a spontaneous attack, the managers say the former president, in essence, sent a save-the-date notification ahead of the riot. They also fought back against the argument that Trump's remarks on January 6 were protected speech. The managers also presented never-before-seen video evidence revealing just how close our nation's leaders were to rioters. The impeachment trial scheduled to continue later today, and you can watch it on LEX18.com, the LEX18 mobile app, and any of our streaming platforms, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple, and Android TV, and on the LEX18 Facebook page.
Well, Governor Andy Beshear says Kentucky is still seeing too many COVID-19 deaths. Yesterday, he announced just over 1,900 new cases of COVID. The positivity rate sits at 7.5%, and 49 new virus-related deaths were also confirmed. A milestone in the race to vaccinate Americans against the coronavirus, according to the latest numbers from the CDC. More than 10 million people in the United States have received 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. California has the highest 2-dose vaccination rate, followed by Texas, Florida, and New York. Overall, the CDC reports nearly 45 million doses of the vaccine have been administered.
Let's check out noon stocks here. Stocks trying to edge higher earlier as Wall Street was trying to build on February's strong gains. I have noticed the Dow taking a little leg lower here in the last little bit. It set a new record high yesterday. It's down 80 right now. NASDAQ up about 28 points, and the S&P 500 is down about 2 points right now. And more LEX18 news coming up right after this.
Don't miss Ashley Home Store's President's Day weekend sale. Friday through Monday only. Save up to 25% off store-wide. Plus 0% interest for 12 months. Or get 0% interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase and no money down. 4 days only at Ashley Home Store.
Hi, everybody. Back on the road with BJ Worzen, owner of West Shore Home, for another on-site one-day bath remodel. Hey, BJ.
Good morning, Joe. I'm super excited to show you another bath transformation today, so why don't we head right over to the bathroom and check it out. All right, Joe, so what you see here is a really typical bath that we replace. And what we're really looking at today is this high step-over tub, where it can create a condition where people can slip and fall. So what we're going to do is replace this tub with an easy step-in shower that's going to create a modern look, but also give them a much safer experience.
So, VJ, this is really a routine project for your crew, a complete tear-out and a full shower installation in one day.
That's right, Joe. We do thousands of these every year, and our goal is to make the bathroom as modern and as safe as possible for homeowners.
Can't wait to see it. Okay, the old unit is out. They made that look really easy. Time now to install a fresh new shower. Now we're talking. Take a look at this. It has a whole new feel. So fresh and so modern. I love the low step. They got the grab bar for added stability. They did a textured floor. This is beautiful and so modern. Folks, this morning, this was an old bathtub. This afternoon, it's a beautiful, safe step-in shower. If you've been thinking about replacing your old bath, call the number on your screen right now. Get a free quote on a bath replacement and take advantage of this great offer. Replace your old shower or bath for as little as $99 a month. And when you call right now, you'll get free installation on your shower or bath project. Don't miss this great offer. Call the bath experts at West Shore Home now.
I had this new vehicle and a drunken driver hit me.
my first thought was Kara Steger.
We approach cases from the very first phone call. You get to talk to an attorney. Having an attorney get to know you, to be able to fight for you in your case, makes us a little different. We take pride in the fact that we care.
With Kaufman and Steger, it wasn't just a title. They are real people who really authentically care for me.
For 4 days only at Ashley Home Store's President's Day weekend sale. Save up to 30% off on doorbusters, like this sofa, now only $399. Plus, get 0% interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase and no money down. Friday through Monday only at Ashley Home Store.
The Kentucky Lottery, providing over $3.8 billion in grants and scholarships.
You're watching LEX 18 News at noon.
Well, after the NBA made a statement saying all teams will play the national anthem, the Dallas Mavericks revised and reheld their anthem ceremony last night for the first time this season.
Yeah, the Mavs and the visiting Atlanta Hawks observing the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner at Dallas American Airlines Arena. Owner Mark Cuban faced some harsh criticism for the Mavs not playing the traditional pre-game song following a report Tuesday from The Athletic. No announcement was ever made from the team saying they would stop playing the anthem. Cuban told ESPN, Rachel's Nichols, in an appearance on The Jump, that he had no problem playing the anthem but chose not to do so to appease those who felt the tradition did not fully represent them.
Well, it's all fun and games until someone loses, of course, the Lombardi Trophy. Luckily, that didn't happen yesterday, but it was a close call during a boat parade celebrating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' Super Bowl win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Tom Brady made one more pass with the trophy. Quarterback climbed up in the pocket and hit tight end Cameron Brate on another boat with the famed trophy. Of course, this is Brady we're talking about right here. You can see it there. The pass was completed, and all is well. Now for a final look at your LEX 18 Storm Track forecast, here's Tom.
Well, that ice storm warning has been dropped here, but it continues into our southeastern counties. And we've got, as you can see on the max track, a little bit in the way of some precipitation still hanging in. So the possibility into our southeastern counties as we go through the afternoon for some light freezing rain and freezing drizzle, enough to put down some light icing and cause hazardous road conditions. So southeastern counties, be on the lookout this afternoon. Use extra caution if you're out and about on the roads. This will wind down this evening and overnight.
All right, Tom, thank you. Our Storm Tracker team coverage of the ice storm of 2021 continues in our next half hour.
Yes, we'll be back for more news here in just a moment.
LEX 18, it's about time we fit into your schedule. Streaming local news 24/7. Search for LEX 18 on your device.
Come try Sonny's original smoked pork plates. Get pork with ribs and wings for on the Sonny's Cuban starting at $7.99. Available for dine-in, curbside pickup, or delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since '68.
It's the Burke Furniture President's Day sale with huge savings throughout our entire 65,000 square feet of showroom. Plus, get 0% financing for 24 months. It's the Burke Furniture President's Day sale going on right now.
At Lexington Clinic, we're celebrating a healthy you. For 100 years, Lexington Clinic has been at the forefront of keeping your family healthy. Whatever the future holds, we are ready for the next 100 years. Lexington Clinic, your doctors for life.
Why do you need a Social Security lawyer? Applying for disability benefits is complicated.
If you don't answer the questions carefully, you can hurt your case.
If you have a hearing, there may be witnesses representing the government. Today, more and more Kentuckians are being denied. You want an experienced Social Security lawyer. You want Kentucky courage.
Call 1-800-55-WILDCAT. Morgan, Collins, Yeast, and Salyer. There's no fee unless you win benefits.
Have you been struggling with back or neck pain, maybe considering an invasive surgical procedure? Due to the overwhelming success, we've moved our office to accommodate even more spinal decompression equipment. Give us a call to schedule your free consultation and MRI review to see if decompression therapy can help. It could change your life.
It's a hot real estate market, no doubt about it. Homes are selling at a record pace.
Interest rates are at historic lows, and buyers are out in full force. So whether you're thinking about upsizing, downsizing, or right-sizing, there's never been a better time to sell your home. Talk to a realtor, your local expert on all things real estate, to learn about your options and the value of your home. Is your agent a realtor? Look for the R.
If you're injured, hire a lawyer who will fight for every penny you deserve. Last year, we recovered $1 billion for our clients. There's only one, Morgan & Morgan.
The Big Blue Nation's official station is LEX 18.
It's the Burke Furniture President's Day sale with huge savings throughout our entire 65,000 square feet of showroom. Plus, get 0% financing for 24 months. It's the Burke Furniture President's Day sale going on right now.
There's always time for slow smoking, even when you're in a hurry. Turn any meal into a barbecue with Sonny's Barbecue to Go. Click, call, or come on in. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
I urge every Kentuckian to stay home and off these treacherous roads and stay tuned to local media for information on developing weather.
Governor Andy Beshear declares a state of emergency, urging everyone to stay home after a severe winter storm stretching from Texas to Virginia, with Kentucky taking the brunt. Ice-covered roads, freezing temperatures all across the Commonwealth, and we have you covered from all across the Bluegrass. Good afternoon, everybody. And thanks for staying with us at 12:30. I'm Dia Davidson.
I'm Chris Goodman, and winter has left its mark. It is certainly being felt around the Bluegrass.
Yeah, it sure is. And we have several crews out this afternoon bringing you live Storm Tracker team coverage. So let's begin now with a look at things to come. Meteorologist Seth Phillips now joins us. Seth, are we going to get some relief from Mother Nature?
Absolutely. Yeah, things are certainly winding down through the rest of today. It's going to be not necessarily making things better on the roadways, but at least taking those precipitation rates down or getting rid of them completely means that we now have the opportunity to see those conditions start to improve. But before we get there, before we can call this thing finished, we have to get through this batch that we see right here. This is the one that we were expecting late morning and then throughout the early afternoon, wrapping up around 4 or 5 o'clock tonight. Is when we can finally say that we're finished with this winter storm. But until then, a little bit of snow or even sleet kind of hanging out on the west side of Interstate 75, on the east side of Interstate 75 in southern and southeastern Kentucky. We are still getting some freezing precipitation, rain falling onto freezing surfaces. Maybe a little bit further south of that, at least the radar's picking up maybe some rain, but I can guarantee you that there's probably some freezing rain happening in those spots too, between portions of Bell and Whitley County. A little bit of Barberville, probably right in the middle of that. But behind that, behind this line, it's still pretty wet, slushy. And with the freezing conditions and temperatures that are sitting at freezing, it's still certainly the case where roads are going to be dangerous. So once again, there's really no reason to be on them at this point, really not until tomorrow in the morning. And even beyond then, they could still have some pretty icy situations out there, especially with all of the slush that's forming right now overnight tonight, with temperatures really bottoming out. That's where some freezing can still occur. So you see the difference between the snowy part where we had a little bit of snow falling and coating some of that ice, but still have some icy situations out there and maybe a little bit more wet, but eventually turning over to ice in some of those southern counties. This is a look from our WeatherBug camera on top of the Lexington Financial Center. It looks more like we had a snowstorm come through. But if we look more onto our WeatherBug camera at St. Joseph Hospital, yeah, that's a completely different story. This is your proof that there is some ice out there. You can't even see from the camera lens because of just how much is accumulated on top. So certainly been a very, very interesting 24 hours. Certainly the bulk of it happening overnight and then throughout the morning tomorrow. Excuse me, the morning this morning, but then tomorrow we'll finally start to see these conditions start to improve, and that's good news. A winter storm warning has been expired, but now the ice storm warning for Interstate 64 and south, basically just saying that this renewed shot of freezing rain certainly has that potential to keep bringing dangerous conditions out there. Going forward, what's next? Well, a lot of cold air in place, and that's going to stick with us for quite a while. We go all the way through next week with temperatures that will be below freezing and more shots of snow with potential some freezing precipitation out there as well. So we'll talk about what to expect for the rest of today, the upcoming weekend, and next week. All of that in your full forecast.
Yes, Seth, we'll see you in just a few minutes here. And the governor, along with the Transportation Cabinet and the State Emergency Management, held a news conference this morning to give an update on the state's response to this winter storm. And LEX 18's Jacqueline Nye is live in Frankfort right now. She has the details.
Chris, those state officials this morning assured us crews are working very hard to clear the roads and restore power across the state. But their message remains the same. Stay home if possible and only leave if it's necessary. Now, the Transportation Cabinet says that they are working around the clock to clear the roads and expect most of the main roads in larger cities to be safe to travel on by rush hour this evening. And while they continue to work, Governor Beshear says with the cold weather ahead this weekend, it's going to take some time to recover from this storm. The Director of Emergency Management says about 70,000 people across the state are still without power.
Each of those individuals, they should check with their specific utility company. There are more tools now online or via phone to figure out how long you will be out and the priority of where the utility company is going to go, person by person or area by area.
It took us a little bit longer than normal to get to Lexington to Frankfort, and most of the main roads here in Frankfort are clear. But again, we cannot stress enough, if you don't have to go out, don't stay home. In Frankfort, Jacqueline Nye, LEX 18 News.
Jacqueline, thank you. Here in Lexington, city crews have been busy at work all day and all night. LEX 18's Claire Kopsky has been checking in with those crews, and she joins us now from a neighborhood off of Clays Mill Road. All right, it seems like we're having a little bit of difficulty trying to get connected due to, of course, the weather and everything being frozen, so we'll be sure to try and join Claire Kopsky as soon as we can. Let's go back to Christopher.
I think to Madison County now. Residents there also woke up to winter weather. LEX 18's Michael Burke has been there since 3:30 this morning, doing a great job watching that ice build up. Michael, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chris. Conditions here in Madison County are improving, but they are far from perfect, we're told, not only in this vicinity, but even on into Rockcastle County. We spoke with several drivers after spending most of the morning here. Many of them have been using I-75. As we were here all morning, we went from rain to sleet to freezing rain, all within an hour. And it took even less than that to develop a really nice layer of ice on any untreated surfaces. Interstate 75 right behind us has been treated, we're told by the drivers, but a couple of them said even that really hasn't made much difference in many spots.
Yeah, they're out salting it. We've passed quite a few salt trucks. Yeah. Still, I'd say stay home if you can.
Everybody's just taking their time. The northbound lane's going backward really bad. You see all the semis spun out on the side of the road going up the hill.
And we're back live here on the EKU bypass in Madison County. Looks can be deceiving. You look outside, it looks as if, well, certainly the bypass looks okay, but that's not necessarily the case everywhere you go. So if you can stay home, do so. So from Madison County, we'll send it now to Alex Valverde, who is in Boyle County. Hi, Alex.
Hey, thanks, Michael. Yeah, here in Boyle County, things have calmed down just a little bit since the conditions that we saw this morning. The precipitation, there is still some coming down right now. What's coming down is frozen, little blocks of ice that are dropping down, but the wind has died down a bit. But still, this morning's conditions has left a layer of ice on the roadways, on the sidewalks, pretty much everything. So you want to be careful if you do have to venture out. this afternoon. Now, city and county crews have been out through this morning taking care of the roads, and while most state roads are passable right now, Boyle County Judge Executive Howard Hunt says some county roads are blocked by fallen tree limbs that have been weighed down by the ice that has accumulated on them, and crews are working to clear those. And he also wants people to avoid certain areas around farmland in the county.
We have some knobs, what we call the knobs, and those knobs have some pretty steep grade hills on them, and I ask that they ask people to live or in that area refrain from travel, because even though they've been salted, they still have a very treacherous surface to them.
Now, in addition to the roads, crews are working to restore power. There are still hundreds of homes that are without power. For now, though, we are going to send it back to you, Dia.
All right, Alex, thank you, and Michael Burke as well. All right, let's try and rejoin Claire Kopsky. She's here in Lexington, and she's over off of Clays Mill Road, checking out how city crews have been working day and night to get things safe. Hey, Claire.
Hey, Dia. We're sorry, we had some battery issues. It's been a long day out here. The microphone's getting a little tired, but I did check in with Lexington Police just a little bit ago. They said there have been 31 accidents since 5 o'clock last night. Thankfully, only 3 of those included injuries. So they have been busy. Teams have been busy throughout the city because there have been fallen trees on roads. And as you can see right here, we're on Holland Road at Monticello Boulevard in the Clays Mill area. This minivan needs a trip to the body shop. It got hit by a tree from over here that fell all the way across the road. This tree split, hitting a truck that has since been removed, and all the way across the road, which blocked this road, and which is a main artery in this neighborhood for several hours. Again, it was just only cleared by city crews here just about 30 minutes ago, so a little bit of a mess, you could say. But now I want to show you some video from the north side of town. We were over in a neighborhood there this morning. We met a family in the Imperial Mobile Home Estates who are pleading for help after a tall tree fell onto their home early this morning. A woman who lives inside that home told me that this is not the first time this has happened, and she's fearful to go back inside since the power line was still hot as of just a little bit ago, and that she says that there are holes from the branches inside their ceiling.
We were asleep like around 4 in the morning, and then I just heard like a noise. I never thought that it was the tree. I was like, it's an earthquake or something.
Well, I also checked in with the head of Lexington Streets and Roads, and he tells me that his teams are on 12-hour shifts, really hoping for some sunlight today to help them break down some of this ice that's on so many of these streets. He also told me that they are getting some help from Lexington Waste Management, so it is a true effort here in Lexington to get these streets and these trees out of the way, make sure power is continuing to be restored. So don't give up on these teams. They are hard at work, and they're pulling some all-nighters around here. So, Dia, let's send it back to you.
Yeah, and we want you to come inside and get warm. Claire Kopsky, thank you. Well, drivers were no match for the ice and snow-covered roads over in Georgetown. In a span of 24 hours, Georgetown police were working multiple crashes.
Just to give you a little bit of information about traffic crashes, since 7 o'clock yesterday morning until 7 o'clock this morning, we investigated 29 traffic crashes here in Scott County. That's county and city. And we had 8 that involved injuries during the same time frame. And also during the same time frame, we went out and assisted 16 motorists. That could be those that are maybe had a flat tire or slid off the roadway, but we came upon those or, citizen called in. So we helped them.
The assistant chief of police says that overnight a transformer blew, causing power outage to those in Georgetown, but says the power has since been restored for most customers. Hey guys, we want to let you know, as always, you can track the latest winter weather conditions on our website, LEXAT.com. And know before you go, get your forecast anytime, anywhere with our free Storm Tracker weather app.
Now to the latest in Washington, where House impeachment managers keep presenting more evidence. Prosecutors, in fact, going to be wrapping up arguments today in the second full day of former President Donald Trump's second impeachment trial. On day one yesterday, the House managers pursued their case against him, saying the former president spent months inciting the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Senators clearly were rattled by some of the graphic evidence about the riot, but Donald Trump is still expected to be acquitted in the end. And you can watch that trial continue to unfold on LEX18.com, the LEX18 mobile app, and any of our streaming platforms, Amazon Fire, Apple, and Android TV, and also on the LEX18 Facebook page.
All right, and you know what? It's really, really bad outside, so just stay in here. Governor Beshear declared a state of emergency, and meteorologist Seth Phillips has a look at your forecast. All that and so much more coming up after the break.
Kentucky continues to top the list of worst child abuse statistics in the country. And as the pandemic continues, more and more children are trapped in abusive situations with no way out. Join LEX18 in helping CASA of Lexington provide advocates for those children to give them a voice in the court system. Visit CASAofLexington.com and take part in this year's Bourbon in the Bayou event. Bid on auction items and help protect children from abuse and neglect in their own homes.
We're floating towards Valentine's Day, everybody. Woo, I feel light. And we've got nothing but love for Priyanka. Next, Kelly.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, today at 2.
What's in Zaxby's new General Tso's sauce? Legendary chicken, legendary sauce. The new General Tso's boneless wings, only at Zaxby's. Redeem rewards, scan to pay, and order ahead on the Zaxby's app.
Has your loved one been abused in a nursing home? Bed sores, broken bones, dehydration, and malnutrition are all signs of abuse. Call Hughes & Coleman, 800-800-4600.
Put an end to mealtime mutinies with Long John Silver's family meals. Mix and match chicken and fish and keep everyone happy. Visit longjohnsilvers.com to find pickup and delivery options near you. Long John Silver's, this year.
Furniture World Superstore celebrates their 50th year with a President's Day sale like no other. Low holiday prices on Kentucky's biggest and best furniture and mattress selection. Beautiful looks for every room. Unmistakable style. All at historic savings. Plus, enjoy no interest for up to 48 months. It's a President's Day sale not to be missed. Going on now at Furniture World Superstore. Celebrating 50 years in Kentucky.
Come see the difference family makes at Furniture World Superstore.
Essential work, essential quality, essential care. At Sayre Christian Village, our caregivers are essential. Now hiring clinical and non-clinical positions, nurses, CNAs, housekeepers, and more. Join a nonprofit faith-based nursing facility that empowers team members with the resources they need to provide the highest level of care, all while maintaining a positive work-life balance. Apply online for a virtual interview. Essential to you, essential to us. Join our family at Sayre Christian Village.
If you like Zaxby's, you're going to love the Zaxby's app. Use it to order ahead to fast-track your order. Plus, member-only rewards and surprises along the way. It's easy. It's convenient. It's the Zaxby's app. Download it today.
Well, we've made it to the home stretch. Just got to get through the next couple of hours before things really start to wind down and the end of this, well, nuisance for sure, but even a little bit of hazardous conditions, or that's all going to start to get better from here. So that's good news in the forecast. But we do still have some issues. They're going to have some areas that are going to have some problems. The Hal Rogers Parkway all the way from Perry County towards London, that's going to be a little bit of ice covering in some of those areas, but also the Cumberland Parkway out towards Somerset, likely getting some freezing rain as well. That extends all the way up towards Breathitt County, gets into a little bit of Magoffin as well. This is moving north and east, so eventually Floyd is in the path and Northern Pike as well, where some of the higher terrain already getting some of that freezing rain as well, maybe a little bit more of a cold rain down in the valleys, but that will fill in due time. You do have some flakes or likely even some sleet that's starting to fall in some areas like Madison County, Garrett, all the way out towards Boyle. And then you've got a little bit more of that and some freezing rain just off to the east of Glasgow at this point. Continuing to push off towards the north and the east. But once again, as this line moves across, it will be wrapping up, and that will be the end of this system, where anywhere between 1/4 of an inch for a lot of areas for ice accumulations, all the way up to over 1/2 of an inch in some areas out towards Elizabethtown and some of our western counties. But we were lucky enough to not get that high. It was just kind of sitting between that 1/4 of an inch up to about 3/4 of an inch, or excuse me, up to 3/10 of an inch, where there were certainly some issues being had on the roadways and some power outages as well. This is about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You see how the ending of that precipitation moves off towards the east. It's just cloud coverage beyond that. Maybe a few drizzle, freezing drizzle showers, possibly a few flurries or even some ice pellets, certainly possible throughout the next few hours, but it's certainly not going to put down much for accumulation. So getting throughout the next several hours is what we need to do. We still have our ice storm warning in effect. You see, it's pretty much Interstate 64 and south, whereas the bluegrass, including Fayette County, or at least the northern bluegrass, has been canceled. Basically just saying that in these areas we still have that chance for accumulating ice, but by no means does it mean that anything north of Interstate 64 is no longer dangerous. It certainly still is and will be throughout tonight and through tomorrow morning as well. So once again, no reason to be out on the roads if you don't absolutely have to. With ice accumulation, another 1/10 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch at most. And that's kind of on the generous side. I think for the most part we stay between maybe a couple of 1/10 of an inch at best for that ice accumulation the rest of the afternoon. You see our amounts that we had picked up across much of the area, the bulk of it being out towards Elizabethtown, where anywhere between disruptive and hazardous, that was the two categories that we stayed in for the day today. Nowhere near that crippling or catastrophic, which was what we had for the 03 ice storm, the 09 ice storm, those areas. And those time frames were certainly very dangerous, and it stayed for quite a while with power outages and just staying off the roads. But what's happening? What's causing this? Because if you've been watching the temperature at your location, it's been sitting in the 20s. So why is it that we're getting rain falling to the ground? Well, the reason being is because we have a very thick layer of above freezing temperatures sitting just above the freezing temperatures at the surface. So when the snow falls from the upper levels of the atmosphere getting into this big area of above freezing air, it has a chance to melt. But it does not have a chance to turn back to freezing precipitation before it touches the ground. So it falls as rain. It looks like rain. But everything at the surface that is freezing will get that little bit of a sheen of ice. And that's what's been happening over the last 24 hours. So you see this big cold air mass. This is what's coming up next. We are going to get rid of the precipitation today, but we keep the cold. And that cold has to go somewhere. Well, it's going to head east towards us. And as we go into the end of the weekend and next week, things will be very, very cold. Bundle up for sure type of weather. Single-digit lows certainly possible, and wind chills that could get into the negative values. On top of that, we have a chance for snow and even maybe some freezing rain throughout next week. But of course, time will tell how much we get from that. For sure, you could prepare for a lot of cold.
The new home for Hank is 105.5 FM, playing Central Kentucky's classic country hits. If you love country music, you'll love Hank. Make 105.5 Hank FM your new home for the legends of country.
For 11 years, I've trusted Bryant for my home comfort. That's why this time of year I make the call. Routine checkups not only keep your system running efficiently, it can also prolong its life. My system gets regular maintenance, so I know that my furnace is going to perform its best, even in the worst condition.
Schedule preventative maintenance now, just $65.
A trusted family-owned business since 1940. They've always been here for me.
I've been telling you for years, when you get hurt, and it's not your fault, you call Hughes & Coleman, 800-800-4600. They know what it takes to get you the most money after you've been injured.
When our client was hit by a dump truck, we recovered $800,000 so he could get medical treatment.
We recovered $1 million for a family that was hit by a tractor trailer because their injuries will last forever.
So what are you waiting for? Just call Hughes & Coleman, 800-800-4600.
It starts off small. Over time, you start to take notice. It's obvious you have a clog in the house. While I can appreciate award-winning talent, a plumbing clog can ruin your daily routine. Clogs can have unwanted odors, slow or no drainage in your plumbing, and can even do damage by flooding your home. Don't waste your time and money on temporary fixes. Call a pro at Fast Flow and make this the only clogging you see in your home.
I like to move it, move it. I
Ready to move on from workouts like this? Now through February 11th, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. With all this variety, you can move it in our clean and spacious clubs. And use the crowd meter in our app for the best time to visit, so you can work out with plenty of room to move. America, your fitness is essential. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends February 11th.
Join at any Lexington area Planet Fitness for no enrollment fee. Offer ends February 11th.
Think for a moment. You don't hesitate to have your eyes tested, but what about your hearing? Hi, I'm Marcia Mattingly. At Beltone, we've helped thousands of people lead richer, fuller lives by showing them that they can hear the way they should. If you feel you're not hearing or understanding conversation and others say your TV's too loud, call our friendly staff for a quick and painless hearing test. You might be surprised at what you're missing. 60 years and 3 generations serving the tri-state with the most trusted name in hearing aids, Beltone.
The new home for Hank is 105.5 FM, Plains Central Kentucky's classic country hits. If you love country music, you'll love Hank. Make 105.5 Hank FM your new home for the legends of country.
The Kentucky Lottery, providing over $3.8 billion in grants and scholarships.
Welcome back to LEX 18 News at 12:30. More encouraging signs in Kentucky's fight against COVID-19. Yesterday, Governor Andy Beshear announced 1,914 new cases in the Bluegrass. The positivity rate continues to decrease, now at 7.5%. The number of deaths, though, remains in double digits. 49 more Kentuckians have died after getting the virus.
And Americans are creating GoFundMes at an alarming rate as they look for some pandemic assistance. The online fundraising company is reporting since March, a COVID-related campaign is posted every 2 minutes. People are asking for money to help pay for things like rent, food, medical bills, even to keep the doors of their small businesses open. GoFundMe is calling on Congress to provide more assistance to Americans as the pandemic has turned the site into a major indicator of financial hardship. A final check of your LEX 18 Storm Tracker forecast is next.
Hi, I'm Daniel Lowry with Kentucky Utilities. At KU, we're empowering customers with tools to help make life more energy efficient. For businesses and communities looking to invest in efficient lighting, our outdoor LED lighting service offers a variety of options that last 4 times longer than conventional lighting and can reduce energy use by as much as 80%. For residential customers, our new online marketplace provides a one-stop shop for exploring energy smart buys on appliances and electronics. And the site's vehicle section helps you consider the switch from a gas-powered vehicle to an electric vehicle or hybrid. For those ready to plug in, we've installed 20 publicly available charging stations across the Commonwealth. We offer customers the opportunity to host their own charging stations and provide information on how EV drivers can power up at home. At KU, we're empowering energy-efficient futures.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have AT&T with DirecTV, it's not hard to see why. Because while AT&T charges you extra for an internet modem, Spectrum gives it to you for free.
They do?
Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-970-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike AT&T with DirecTV Select, Spectrum has more free HD and free on-demand, and sports channels are included.
Wow, really?
Really? Plus, get exclusive original content with Spectrum Originals. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-970-4499. And unlike AT&T with DirecTV, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-970-4499.
I hate being alive now.
These are the last 2. The whole city's out of avocados?
What? Give me those. I drove in from Santa Monica.
We're all scared, but it's going to be okay.
Before he was The Rock, he was Little Dewey.
Yeah, nice.
Learned a lot of lessons very early on.
You have big dreams for us.
My big dream is you.
Young Rock, Tuesday on NBC.
The LEX 18 Pet of the Day is brought to you by Feeder Supply.
Just have a few seconds left, so I want to show you a quick shot of that 8-day forecast. As you can see, some cold weather moving in. Get ready, Dia.
That's right, and we'll have much more for it coming up on LEX 18 News at 4. Have a great weekend, and happy Valentine's Day, Christopher.
LEX 18, it's about time we fit into your schedule. Streaming local news 24/7. Search for LEX 18 on your device